bad. Let's go with it.
Rookies. All right, let's try to go live this time.
Supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
And no nation which expects to be the leader of other nations can expect to stay behind in this race for space.
What does it take to convince you that the dead do not always rest in peace?
This episode has been brought to you by Broad's Beard Care, premium beard oil made right here in Central Florida by Kelly Broad himself. Go to broadsbeardcare.com, enter promo code 3beards. That is a dog telling you you need to go right now. And get 20% off your order and free shipping on every order with him. Amazing products. We even have our own signature blend, 3B. By purchasing that, not only are you supporting a local craftsman here in Winter Garden, Florida, you are also supporting us, and we appreciate you very much for that. So at this time, we have got a full panel here. We have got joining us Javier Perez. He has got his latest single that he's got coming out, and we're going to JP2, and we're going to talk about that as well. And Mark Eddy, our secret agent booking man who helps get us all of our fantastic guests, he has joined us as well. And the focus of tonight is Mr. Boone Froggett, the lead singer, guitarist for the band Otis. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Wonderful.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Good.
All right. Well, just start off. I mean, basically, I won't lie. I have been stalling Mark on this forever. He has been. He was telling me, it's like, so what would you think about? I've got this guy from Otis. I think it'd be a great show, and I'm like, okay, Mark, none of us are musicians. I go, the closest thing to a guitar is we've held it. I mean, I'm attempting to learn bass guitar. I mean, it's just, I go, what am I going to ask him? Ooh, cool. You're plucking that string thingy. Awesome. It sounds good. I like the songs. But I'm like, what are we going to do? And then, so as we were talking and I started paying attention to stuff, I looked at your stuff and I'm like, okay, I think this is actually going to work. And I bounced it off Chris and Austin. I'm like, what do you guys think? They're like, let's do it. I think I made Mark's day when I told him, it's like, all right, let's do this. I bet he semi passed out at that point.
Yeah, well, Boone and I are colleagues, so they're kind of colleagues. And I was like, I believe in him. He does a great job. So it's gonna work, and we're gonna have a great show.
We call them reinforcements. That's why Javier is here too.
Yeah.
we need a musician.
So tell us a little bit. I've never heard the term Southern space rock. So where did that come about?
Man, it's kind of like we never really set out to be a Southern rock band, but when they see, long-haired guys from Kentucky with, Marshalls and all this sort of thing, they're like, "Oh, you're a Southern rock band." And definitely when I open my hillbilly mouth, you can definitely, tell that we're from the South. So we're like, okay, if you're going to put us in this genre, let's expand it. Let's make it more progressive. We don't, we don't want to be one of those bands. It seems like of a cliche that was something in the 70s, we want to take that, emulate that, and bring something new to the table. And then a big part of it is my love for sci-fi. I just want to throw that in there. So
nice. Well, you did, because even on your promo thing, you said the truth is out there, and I do believe it.
Oh my God.
Got my X-Files shirt on as well.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I could pan over there. There is X-Files poster right back there. So, yes. All right, that's about enough space out nerd here. Yeah. So, when did you guys first just kind of come to the idea that you guys wanted to start this band? Because I got for anybody, you along with Andrew Gilpin, John Seeley, and Steve Jewell Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yep. So you guys all formed the band. You are the front man, so you were the David Lee Roth of this Otis.
But yeah, man, this all started about 10 years ago. I grew up in a very musical family. I grew up playing in kind of a family band. My grandfather, who I lost earlier this year, he was a bluegrass fiddler, and my dad he plays just great West Coast honky tonk style guitar. So that's what I grew up around, was Merle Haggard, Buck Owens, Bill Monroe, all that great music. And then I got older and older and older, and my dad turned me on to like B.B. King and the Fabulous Thunderbirds and stuff like that. And then I lost it. Then I was like, I've had enough of this country stuff. I want to play some blues and rock and roll. So
Nice.
The bass player, noticed John, he was kind of in the family band as well. So we kind of just branched off and started our own thing. And, another significant thing is the area that we're from. In this little town, Glasgow, Kentucky, we've got the Kentucky Headhunters are from Edmonton, which is just a town over, as well as Blackstone Cherry. So it was very tangible for us. You could go to the grocery store parking lot and see their buses leaving out. So it's like, hey, we really can do this from here. We don't have to go out to Nashville, or we don't have to go out to LA. We can grow this right here from home, and we kind of took it from there.
Nice. That was something that just, like I said, watching those things. I mean, I know some of the bands. Javier, Mark, jump in anytime. With questions. So I said you don't have to hold back. There's just, but for me, it's just, like I said, I know some of these ones. I won't lie. I mean, as I've been doing these things, like getting ready for this thing too, I've gotten into listening to more of this genre than I had previous. I mean, because me coming from the West Coast, when you hear Southern rock, I mean, first thing that everybody said, Leonard Skinner, you're like, oh God. I'm like, I can't take anymore. I mean, yes, Freebird. We all love Freebird. Yes.
That was fun. Remember that?
Well, yeah. Little side note, little story. So we're doing this event in Winter Garden, and me and Austin are walking together, and this guy's doing the one-man band thing. He's got the soundtrack playing, all the instruments, and he starts playing his guitar, and here's Austin, Freebird. I'm like, you are such a hillbilly.
Like, dude turns around.
You kind of have to like request Freebird at one point.
Yeah. The dude turns around and just double flicks me off. I was like, that works. He goes, here's your Freebird. I was like, oh, there it is. Okay.
That's not our favorite thing to hear as a musician, someone holler out Freebird, and it's kind of like, we've only got 2 guitar players in this band, so I hear Leonard Skinner does a good Freebird, maybe.
Yeah, I was really, from some of the other interviews, and like one of the pictures I shared in promoting this, that was something that Mark had mentioned to me, and I found it about Billy Gibbons throwing some support your way. I mean, talk about a major player in the music scene to just say, these guys have it going on. You need to check these guys out. I mean, he's even holding that tribute album.
Yeah, man, that was a very, very humbling experience. And man, it's just, it's so special when you look back on it. It's like, one of the guys I had, the Fandango album cover up on my bedroom wall, and now hanging with this guy, and he's respecting what I've done musically. And then, when you meet these people, especially a lot of the older rock guys, what you find out is they're just as much interested in you as you are in them. because they see you coming up and trying to create something that's honest, that's kind of not the same thing, and they obviously are very in tune with that. They pick up on that. But meeting Billy the first time was a chance meeting. My friend from the Headhunters, Greg Martin, we have went down to Nashville for a visitation of Brian Farmer, who was the guitar tech for Government Mule. He had passed away, and Greg wanted to go pay his respects. So we go down there, and we're on the way back from Nashville. Greg gets a call, and it's from Billy Gibbons, of all people. And he's like, "Hey, man, are you in Nashville by any chance? I just got here. I'd love to see you if you're around." And Greg's like, "Well, yeah, I'm actually about 20 miles from Nashville." So we turn around and we go meet Billy, have dinner, end up hanging out on the bus with him for about 3-4 hours, something like that. And it was a really wonderful experience. We were picking his brain over old blues and how he set his amp, and then he was picking our brain over stuff. And then as we're leaving, Greg was like, "Hey, man, there's this project I've been working on. I've been producing this band from Kentucky called Otis, and I think you would really dig this because these guys are really into the old blues, and this is actually a tribute record to John Brim." And he's like, "Oh, cool." And then when he saw the album artwork, he was like, "Oh yeah, I really think I'm gonna like this." And I was kind of like, "Yeah, right. I'm sure this is what you tell all the young aspiring guitarists to the world."
Oh yeah.
But the cool thing about Billy, just sitting there with him, if you're Billy Gibbons, you are Billy Gibbons all the time. You can't run from that beat and that look, And he was just all the time at the ready with a Sharpie, people coming by the table, and he would sign stuff for them. And even we were hanging at the hotel where he was staying, this guy come in the lobby and was like, "Billy, will you take a picture? But I want you to be choking me in the picture." He's like, "All right, dude, it's your picture." So it was just like the craziest fanfare that's around ZZ Top is really interesting. But I kind of thought that would kind of be the end of it. It was like, this is a chance meeting. This is he's just trying to give me some encouragement. Yeah. Well, a couple of days later, Greg gets a call from Billy wanting to talk more about how the album was made, and even had his engineer at the time, Joe Hardy, who passed away, call our engineer, and he was talking to Greg about how we mixed the album, how we recorded it. So he really did have a genuine love and interest for that first album and what we were doing. And he slowly started mentioning us in podcasts, and even when his solo band, the BFGs, went out, they walked on to one of our songs from that album, which was amazing. Got the video of that's really incredible. We were their walk-on music, so that was it was cool. I've got to see Billy a couple times since, and we actually talked on the phone a couple times earlier this year about some stuff that was going on with the band. So absolute honored to meet Billy and have a friendship with him.
Yeah, wait, that's awesome. There's nothing better than meeting your heroes and realizing that they're actually cool. Exactly. Like the worst part would be meeting somebody that you idolize, and then it's like, wow, this guy's terrible. Like that. Thankfully, that has never happened to me. I dread the day that it happens. I don't have that many heroes left. But yeah, man, that sounds amazing. Have you been able to sit down and play with him at all, or?
No, not really play with him, but he's always wanting to talk about music, about old blues. Sometimes he'll send me a just like a blank CD of old blues stuff through my friend Greg Martin, and we actually Jeff Beck told my buddy Greg, he's like, "Man, Billy Gibbons actually burned me a copy of these guys' record and gave it to me." So Billy's just out there just burning copies of our record and handing it to whoever's around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that has got to be a trip. That just the fact that just showing up in your mail is just some random thing from ZZ Top. Just hey, here's Billy Gibbons. Yeah, you just what's this? Another thing you found for me is pretty cool. You're like, man, you're so nonchalant about the fact that ZZ Top is just sending you stuff. I mean, I'd be like, dude, What's that on your wall? That's my prized possession. This is a personal correspondence from
touch
Billy
it.
Gibbons.
Don't look at it.
I definitely keep all that stuff. It's locked away in the Otis vault.
Yeah,
Nice.
Awesome.
Boone, so, Greg is a big churchgoer, and Billy is also a reverend. What role does spirituality play in Otis's music, or the blues in general?
It plays a big role. Even when you go back to the blues, you start talking about people like Son House and Howlin' Wolf. When this whole thing began, they were conflicted even over playing this music because it made them outcasts. Basically, this was going against their religion that they grew up with at the time. But this blues rock stuff in itself, it kind of is a religion, and there is a spiritual soul aspect that's carried through it, because the blues music really comes from a lot of gospel music. I mean, especially like the early Ray Charles stuff, man. He was just playing the gospel music he grew up on, and then singing, lyrics that weren't gospel, but it had that feeling, and people. That's where soul music started. It resonated with that. So, but yeah, I think one thing we found in this business is it really matters how you treat people, even more than your talent level. If you're not a good person, if you don't do what you say you're going to do and try to treat people with respect, it don't matter how talented you are. But if you have, some good morals about you, good head on your shoulders, it does count for a lot, whether it's coming from a spiritual place, or maybe that's just the way you were raised. But we don't, shove it down nobody's throat, but definitely, we try to be close.
Have you mainly stayed local, or you've done a tour? Y'all done like a traveling tour, or you just mainly stay local?
Oh man, we've been all over the U.S. We've been to Europe twice, and hoping to go back again. We'll see what happens with all our stuff that's going on currently.
Yeah.
Got to get over there and unseat Hasselhoff in Germany. Become the next big thing.
It's probably an easy
a tough task. I mean, he's been in the 80s. If it wasn't going to happen, it would have happened already.
It's a easy, probably stupid question, but all of your merch says Planet Otis. Welcome to Planet Otis. What is Planet Otis?
It's just kind of a concept that we came up with to kind of bring people into our own atmosphere. It's just a kind of a way of being like-minded with us, because our music is unique. Who we are as people is unique. The graphics on the stuff, the art, it's all unique. So it's just kind of
cool,
kind of bringing people into our atmosphere.
That's awesome.
It's like, without detracting from it, I mean, kind of the way he brought it up to me, in a way that it's like I said, it's not the same, but it is kind of in the way how Boston had that very unique art cover style. Everything was the UFOs with the guitars. And like I said, when I was looking at your stuff, you can definitely tell there is this one singular, style thing that you're looking for, and you have variations based off this thing. It's like, so when you see your stuff, you're going to be able to associate that with Otis. Right. As where, just like you see a cover, I mean, you're like, oh, that's a Boston album. I mean, you can tell the UFO guitars. You see this, and that's why it was cool that Austin brought that up, because it was one of those things. There's over just the styling, the colors. You can kind of just tell, this belongs together.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I like seeing that, because I mean, when you're a musician, the whole thing is a product. Like, your music is a product, your image is a product, everything is a product. What you say is a product. What you don't say is a product too. So like knowing that you have like that style that carries across, that's pretty cool. And yeah, there's plenty of bands that they just have that you can tell from a mile away. Like back when people went to music stores, you could tell from a mile away. You could go, it's like, that's so and so's album. Yeah. Before you even got to where the albums were, you could just tell that it's like, that's this one, that's that one, because you expected it. You kind of felt it, that they had a direction that they were going. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I guess piggyback on you a little bit, the younger kids would never know about actually seeing an album cover in person. I mean, they still sell CDs occasionally, but soon as it comes out, you're on Apple Music, you're getting it. So it's like, don't go to the store no more to get music covers. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's phasing out, I guess.
I'm old school. Can we all say thank you that this generation is falling back in love with LPs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the records are actually coming back, to where some album, bands are putting them out, because I absolutely love those album covers.
Actual music too, I mean, I never really got into rap, but it's like this generation made a genre called mumble rap. What is that? You're not even speaking, like I don't know.
I mean, it's just one of those things that it's like you like what you like.
Yeah.
Everybody likes something a little bit different. Like my musical taste has changed so much from the time I pick up a guitar the first time when I was, I don't know, 5, up until now that I'm 43. It's like it's been all over the place. I've listened to everything. I've played everything. And the main thing with like the main thing that this generation is taking advantage of, and I say that a lot. I have a show on my YouTube channel called You Ought to Know, where I basically talk about like underground musicians and stuff, and everybody seems to have taken control of their musical career. Nobody's trying to wait for somebody to like pick them up and say, "Oh, you guys are the next big thing. We're gonna do big things with you." It's like, no. Everybody's going out there and they're getting their own distribution, and they're getting their own marketing, and they're getting their own websites and social media and all that stuff. It's like, because you can, you look back 15, 20 years ago, you couldn't do any of that stuff. You always had to get somebody to do all of that for you. You had to get the guy, the sleazy guy, to come to you with the card at the end of the show and say, "Hey, you guys are going to be the next big thing." I talked to plenty of those guys, and it's so much simpler now. It's more it's more fulfilling now when you look at it that way, knowing that like you don't necessarily have to go and spend thousands upon thousands of dollars in a recording studio to get a good recording. You could just spend the same amount of money in getting the equipment at home and play video games on the same thing on your spare time. And it's a good era to be involved in music. I think that's part of the reason why I started doing music again, because I saw how much easier it is now than it was before. And it's like, I got to be a part of this again. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think it's just one thing that comes with the times. I mean, if you just look at the concept of an album as a whole, I mean, 20 years ago, a record could really have generated you some money coming in, some interest, and now it's not as much. It's all about downloads and stuff now. So especially in the rock and roll world, we're essentially in a tickets and T-shirt business, not really as much as in a album business. And then you got rock radio, or what's left of it. They're playing the same bands that all sound the same, or on the other side of it, a classic rock station, they're playing the same thing they were playing 20 years ago. And it's really hard to break through and be recognized by radio, especially here in America. So I think that's why you see the independent things really growing. There's the record labels are somewhat going away. Some of the bigger ones. So it's just a trend that's going on, man. It's a movement. You kind of gotta see what happens next. Of course, the music business has kind of been turned upside down as of late. So it's going to be interesting to see what changes come about.
Listen, we gotta plug this here for you too. It's just because you're one of the backbones that keeps this bad boy rolling. Radio station there, helping out with your show. And that's what I said. Mark tuned me out. He handed that to you, and I really was enjoying some of the music that you guys were playing on that show, because that was finally one of those lost ones.
Low down, ho down.
Craig kept it as a secret.
So that's
Yeah, and Boone, you've been bringing on some amazing guests for Greg to talk to, and the history that the guests bring up is just fascinating. With Elliot Easton, he was like one of the few people that saw the Jimi Hendrix tour with the Monkees.
Yeah, working with Greg on his radio show is really something that started pandemic set in. I've been a fan. We lived in a rural area growing up, and I would drive my dad's work truck to the end of the drive every Monday night and listen to Greg's show. I mean, that's the first place I heard Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, the Rolling Stones, the Allman Brothers Band, all the stuff that I'm so ingrained in now really came from that radio show. So it's been really nice to give back and help Greg out with some of the social media. And I mean, the guests are easy because people want to talk to Greg. People still remember, the Headhunters, Dumas Walker, Walk Softly, all that stuff. And then Greg is so known so well as a guitar player. I mean, even, as far as Gibson did a collector's choice on his 58 Les Paul. So, I mean, it's no trouble getting people to talk to Greg, and he's such a knowledgeable guy and such a pleasure to talk to. And hearing him go through the history of some of this stuff for these folks is, man, it's really inspiring.
Now, if you want, like I said, you got your guitar right there. I mean, if you want to give people, kind of an idea of what your sound is, like I said, give you the floor and let you take it away and show people, your signature sound, my friend.
Yeah, I'll hit a lick or two. Got to show off this beautiful guitar from Zemaitis here.
God, I love the work on the front of that guitar.
It's got a gorgeous design on it.
It's absolutely beautiful. Love it. Love the folks at Zemaitis.
Now, is that etching? Is that an etching? Very nice. Very nice.
Nice. I've only attempted to play slide once and it didn't go well. So that was amazing.
Just got to keep at it, man. It's there.
It's just one of those things that this was like the first album that I did with my band back in Florida. It was back in 2001. Mm-hmm. And I kept telling the guy at the studio, I was like, no, I want to do the solo with a slide. And I played it and he stopped me. It's like, you've never done this before, right? Which felt kind of demoralizing, but at the same time, I had to laugh it off. It's like, no, I haven't. It's like, okay, come out here. And he actually walked me through, like, no, you're pushing too hard. You're doing this, you're doing that. He walked me through it, and it came out decent enough that he said, yeah, we'll put that in. Because he said, I'm not gonna put that in the album if it sounds like crap, because it's I did the album.
Right.
That's awesome.
Boone, since you were just giving us a sample of your slide abilities, you also went with Greg to his recording sessions with Arlen Roth for the Slide Guitar Summit CD. With people there like Johnny Winter, Sonny Landreth, Jack Pearson from the Allman Brothers. Johnny played at Woodstock. Good friends with Jimi Hendrix.
Sure.
Rick Vito from Bob Seger's band. You're in the studio working with some really big name people. Sonny opens up Clapton's Crossroads Guitar Festival. What did you learn from just being in close quarters with this amazing lineup of slide guitar players?
Man, it was really incredible. I'll tell you what happened. I really didn't get to go to the sessions or anything. I went to the show that they had in Nashville with Greg. So I was there all day, but it was really cool and interesting to be around. You got Arlen Roth, who is Mr. Guitar. We're talking about somebody who completely changed the way that people learn guitar through the Hot Licks series, and then all the people he's worked with on his own. And just being around him was really cool. But folks like Jack Pearson and Leroy Parnell and Rick Vito and of course Greg, and it was a very humbling experience. Even Tom Hambridge was there, who is he's produced like the last 4 or 5 Buddy Guy records. So it was really cool to be around him. Even Bonnie Bramlett walks in, and it's just like, man, she's absolutely legendary, and it's great. I really, really enjoy being around these people because there's so much that can be learned. I mean, obviously, there's still great music being made today, and there's things that can be learned from people my age, but there's nothing quite like, being around the folks that's been there and survived it for 30 or 40 years. It gives you so much inspiration and strength because, I mean, one of the biggest parts of this business is just refusing to go away and holding your ground. So if you can learn to do that from somebody who's been doing it, then it's really great. And just even the audience. I mean, you're in Nashville at Slide Guitar Summit. The audience is basically 90% musicians. So there was some cool folks out in the audience as well.
Nashville is a tone country when it comes to that. It's crazy. We my band did a show in Nashville, and after the show, we went out in the town, and we stopped by Tootsie's, and we walk in and just check out everything and whatnot. Pretty cool place. The next day, because we stayed over, the next day we decided to go back to Tootsie's, and now the door guy, he's actually the singer. Whoa! Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, the door guy was actually the singer in the band, and he recognized us, and he gets off stage after their set. It's like, "Hey, you guys, how you doing?" Because like as soon as we walked in the first day, he's like, "You guys are a band?" It's like, "How do you know?" It's like, "Well, you look like a band." It's like,
"That's awesome."
And he asked us to get on stage and play. It's like, "Well, we don't play country." It's like, "They're not gonna care." They care. They really did. That's awesome. It's very humbling. But yeah, dude, like there was a guy like sleeping on the side of the road with like a case, and he like gets up, opens it up, it's a saxophone, starts busting out like Miles Davis stuff, like John Coltrane stuff. And like people walk by, give him a couple dollars. My jaw just hits the ground, and then he's done, and then he just goes back to sleep again. It's like, wow, it's awesome. Yeah. Everybody, it's like you said, like 90% musicians in the crowd. It's crazy.
Awesome. Kind of what I'm picturing, like in that is, I don't know if you guys remember, it was the Checkerboard Lounge in '81, where Muddy Waters was playing and the Rolling Stones. Basically, they did the recording. They show up and then they just start jamming. Mick Jagger just starts singing along with them as they're playing. That's kind of what I'm picturing. It's like you said, here's the doorman one time. He's coming in here. He's like, "Yeah, come out and play." Yeah, that's kind of, it was like you said, that was the first thing that popped in my head. It's kind of like that, where you're like, you can see you come walking in, and it's like, here's this band that you just, they were playing before, and now they're working the door.
Yeah,
and now the guy
I'm
the
pretty
door
sure. I'm pretty sure that's somebody was a bartender somewhere else or something. It's like everybody in Nashville has 5 gigs, and they're all in the music and bar industry. So it's got to be horrendous right now with what we're going through with COVID. How some of these people are surviving. I have no clue how it's even happening.
Have you guys tried anything like the Zoom? Because I know Hart just did a rendition of, and they had the different musicians in different locations, and they just they played it all at the same time. So have you guys, Javier, Boone, have either of you guys dabbled in that, like trying to get everybody together and just do like a Zoom session and put that out live, like as just like a single, thing for people to watch?
Well, you want to go first?
Well, we've talked about it, and I mean, to really do it on the scale that it needs to be done on, it requires a certain amount of internet, certain amount of production. There's really a lot more that goes into it than what you would think. But we have thought about the live stream thing quite a bit, and actually, the other guitar player in the band, Steve, and myself, we do a thing every Tuesday and Thursday just called Second Lunch, where we get in our the Otis Blues Crew fan group on Facebook, and we'll just sit there. We'll play a couple songs, we'll jam, we'll talk about what we got going on, like far as merch wise, and we have a new coffee brand that's out, so we're talking about promoting coffee, which is really helped keep us alive during this whole thing. So that's really cool that we've been able to do that. But we wanted, more or less, we just wanted to do it as a way to keep connected with our fans, not as much as like a money grab or high production thing, but just to stay in touch with the people that keep us going.
That's awesome. Like in my case, see, it kind of makes me sound lazy because I am a one-man band. So all the guys are here right now. But it just like you said, there's a little bit more than just like turning on your camera and going live. Like there's a certain amount of bandwidth that you have to have a consistent stream and stuff like that. It's not as easy as people say it is, but it's just my music up until recently, like it just doesn't, as it doesn't lend itself to be played exactly like that live by one person. I would have to change the arrangement completely to turn it into something acoustic to be able to do it. I may do it. I never thought about it. Like I said, it's like it's not laziness. It's just the like I said, it's like it's a lot of work, and I am my own everything. I am my own singer, songwriter, like musician, promoter, marketer, etc., etc. I mean, so I'm gonna have a meeting with myself after this, and I'll see what I say about it. But I'm not sure.
That's awesome.
Boone. Aside from what you have on your merch page, you're also developing a signature guitar pedal. Can you explain what's in the works with the pedal?
I can. We have a friend here in Kentucky that owns a company called Analog Pedals. His name's Jeff Bowen. Super cool guy, great guitar player in his own right. And last year I was on the road, and I was needing an overdrive pedal, and I was just tired of seeing the same old pedal on everybody's pedal boards all the time. But you got to have them, to play at the volume you need to play in some of the clubs we were playing. I was like, man, it'd be nice to have an overdrive. So we start talking, and then this whole pandemic thing hits, and I get him talking to some of my other friends, like my Steve, the other guitar player in the band, and Chris Robertson from Black Stump Cherry, and Greg from the Headhunters, and he's like, "What if I just made signature pedals on you guys?" We're like, "Yeah, let's do that, man. It's such a cool idea, and obviously very nice of him to do that, because that's something you always dream of as a guitar player, is to to have your own signature thing. So I have a pedal coming out in early 2021 called Boone's Mojo Box, which basically
awesome. I like the name already.
Yeah, that's cool.
It combines like a late 40s, early 50s tremolo sound with a chorus, so you get like a nice warble effect.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of really cool uses for it, and I hear that sound on a ton of records that I really love, like old Bo Diddley and Slim Harpo stuff.
So you can do like a Mellotron type of.
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly.
See, this is why we brought Javier on, because right there, I would not have had that.
Because you don't know what a Mellotron is.
Yeah, see, that was like I said, I would have been like, I think he's talking Transformers right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a Decepticon, yes.
So, I messaged Javier because we're good friends, football and stuff like that. I had my dad's guitar for a long time, and asking him, not to be discouraged. What do you say to new musicians to keep on going? If you're down, just don't stop. Keep on going with your work.
It's one of those things that, like, I am guilty of the things that I preach people not to do.
Yeah.
Because I myself, like, at one point, we had a mini tour back in I want to say 2008, 2009. I'm pretty sure my drummer is gonna call me or message me after this. You got the year wrong. It was this time. He's like Rain Man. He remembers everything. And it was so bad that when I came back home, I told my wife, I don't want to do this anymore. And I literally, little by little, like, shied away from everything, started selling equipment, started, like, sold my amp, sold a couple of, sold my pedal board and all that, kept the guitars, didn't even play them. And it wasn't until like 2017 when one of my buddies kind of forced me to get on stage to play guitar solo that it was like, oh, I got to do this. So it's just one of those, it's one of those things that, like, it's not easy, because it really isn't easy, but it's also fun. Like, if it's, you got to do it because it's fun. You got to play guitar because it's fun. Whatever even the smallest of challenges. If you're just learning, Smoke on the Water, like that little simple riff, the second that you learn it, it's just so good. There was this one YouTube channel that I came across, and I wish I would have remembered the name so I could tell you guys. I could send you the link later. And it's this young lady that she basically recorded herself every single day for 2 years, so as she learned music, as she learned guitar. And you can tell, like, the struggle, and she put it together in like a 30-something minute like video, and you could tell how she goes from like struggling to good. And the first time she figures out like the one lick from like an Iron Maiden solo or something, her face like glows like. And I remember watching it. It's like, man, I don't remember what that felt like. Oh, and it's that type of stuff that I keep telling everybody. Like, when it comes to somebody, it's like, don't get discouraged, because it's not easy. And it's kind of like, if you want to compare it to sports, it's the same thing. It's like, you never stop improving. You never stop getting better. It's like golf. It's like you're competing with yourself. So with music, it's the same thing. It's like the only person that you're competing with when it comes to music is yourself. You're the only guy that is pushing you, and you're the only guy that's holding you back. So that would be my advice to up and coming people.
How about you, Boone? What would you?
Man, if it's in your heart, you gotta follow it. And if it's something you're meant to do, you can't really ignore it for too long. I mean, even for me, it's good to take breaks, which we've learned, here in the past couple of months, that it's helped other areas. But like I said, if it's something that's in you and you got to get it out, then it's gonna materialize at some point. And kind of like I said earlier, that a huge part of this business is just sticking to it, refusing to go away, and giving it all you got. There's been nights where we've played festivals with Cheap Trick and Foreigner, and then there's been nights where we basically had a live rehearsal at a club for the bartender, and we just looked at each other, and you play for the other guys in the band.
Yeah.
So it's a long, hard road, but it's worth it.
Wow. I mean, just from the outside, watching too, it's just like, for you guys, it's, most people, I'm sure there's other people that do it, but for me, it's almost like a mastery, in an artist at work, because watching guys, because you can see in your hand, the instrument in your hands to me is complicated, all the different hand positions you have to remember. You guys have it down where it's just effortlessly. And when I look at the pedal boards, this is like hopping into a 747 cockpit for the first time. You look at this as like, how do you guys remember not only your hand positions, remembering the chords, remembering everything you do for the song, but then also the 75 plus damn posts down there by your feet that you got to keep going click, 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 click with your feet. Like, this is impressive. And then you take Boone and Javier, your thing, then you add in the lead vocals and stuff to this too. And to me, it's a talent.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Boone for doing that. It's like I can now sing and play because I've been able to do it because I'm recording my stuff. It's gonna be very different trying to do it, live. But I never I never could. I was always able to do backup vocals and stuff like that, but it just wasn't me. Every time I see somebody that can sing and play an entire show, it's like, man. It's like, I wish I can't. It's like, I don't have it with me. I'm a guitarist and I can sing, but I'm not both.
It's something I have to constantly work at, because like sitting at home, I could play things that I could never play on stage, but I play things on stage that I could never play at home. It's because I have a emotional reaction to what I'm singing, so I play different, and then I'm also having an emotional reaction to what the other guys play in the band. So if Andrew hits a cymbal in an unexpected place, that could cause me to play something different. So it's interesting, man. That's about all I can say about it. It's interesting.
Yeah, you can bring up pictures, and just like you said, because anytime you've been in a concert, you always see that moment where it's like for me, you can see when the artist is not. They're not doing like what somebody would hear. Like, I'm looking, okay, put my finger here, put my finger strum here. That this is something that is second nature for both of you. You guys know exactly where your hand's supposed to go. You know exactly what you're supposed to do because your eyes are closed. You are feeling the music. You are in the moment. Like I said, me at that point, I mean, that's just a moment of, I know what the hell I'm doing. I know exactly where I'm going. Me, I'd be like, I'm going to do it all wrong.
But you're gonna do it confidently.
Yeah, just rock it out. I meant to do that.
That's what practice is for. You practice enough so that you don't think about it when you do it live.
Yeah,
that's part of it too. Like, you practice it enough so that it's you learn it so that you don't have to remember it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna preview your snippet for your new song, Javier, in a few seconds, but. When I was listening to it, I'm like, that's not Javier. Who's singing the song? I'm like, that is Javier. Holy crap. It was crazy. Because your old song, not old song.
I don't sound like me when I sing. A lot of people
I didn't recognize
you. Like, you don't sound like you when you sing. It's like, I know.
Well, why don't we roll that right now, just there, and then when we're done with that, Boone, if you want to get ready, like I said, we'll have you riff something else out for you if you're up for that.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's plan that, because I think I said I'm having a blast. This is a lot of fun.
I know. I didn't have it up right now.
You were right, Mark. You were right, Mark. I was wrong. You were right.
What's the basis? I know you gave us on a messenger. What's the basis behind the song, real quick?
Okay, so the song is actually it's a duet. Actually, the song features myself and April Rose from the band Auditory Armory. She's the other singer, and the main theme of the song is this. It's a story about accidental lovers that, have to figure out if what just happened is real or if it's just a one-time thing.
Cool.
Why do you insist in pushing me away? Why are we
That's it. That's all y'all get.
Let me tell you, that feeling never gets old.
It was good, man. When you sent me the whole song, I'm like, I kept replaying it and replaying it. One, because I was trying to work on it, but two, I'm like, this song's great. I love it.
When my first solo single, "Walk Alone," when it came out, the first time that it played in a radio station in Mexico, internet radio station called Redosis. And my wife videoed me as I'm listening to it on my phone because I didn't have anything else to listen to, and the permagrin just happens. And even right now, I mean, I know Mark can see me, and I was like, yeah. And I've listened to this. I've only listened to this song 50 million times, but it just it's your baby. It's something you create.
That's cool. That's good job. Yeah, I said I look forward to it. Yeah, the link that he said I have to get the actual link because it was one of those. It was a photo, and so it's like those trolling things. Every time you click on it, nothing happens. So, yeah, take it away there, Boone. Let's see what you got.
All right. Hey, now, baby, can you feel the change coming? Oh, Lord, can you feel my heart drumming? Oh, Lord, there's a fire over yonder. Hey, now, baby, can you feel it getting hotter? Yeah. I feel it coming, yeah. It's been a while. Come on, baby, let me see you smile.
That's awesome.
Awesome. That is fantastic.
Wow.
That's great.
God, I mean, it's one of those. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just having you both doing this stuff, it's, you feel that tingle, back. You're just like, this is awesome. It's like you're in the studio listening to something as it's being created. That was fantastic, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Dude, beautiful voice. Oh my God, so much power behind it. I love it.
Thank you.
Boone, are you picking or using a actual pick?
Both. I do this thing where I hold the pick back
like the hybrid,
and then I'll bring it back and forth. And speaking of Greg, I'm playing one of his V picks tonight. Brother Greg. Yeah.
Cool.
It's looking to pick back and forth. I can barely hold a pick in my hand, so we're good.
That's awesome. Did you get the ones that I told you about?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was so funny. He sends me a message. It's like, what picks should I use? It's like, well, what guitar are you playing? And I swear to God, I thought he was going to say a black one or something like that.
Yeah.
But he came back with acoustic. It's like, oh, okay.
It's made of wood.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it's made of wood.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure my dad was supposed to have it. So when he passed away, my mom's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, that's right. You weren't supposed to know about that." I don't know why, but so I have it now. You start playing it.
Boone, what type of slide do you like to use? Glass or?
The one I just played was brass. I got some glass ones. I got some stone ones. There's a company I've been with for about the past 5 or 6 years. They're called Rocky Mountain Slide Company. He's based out of Colorado, and I got turned on to his slides again through Greg Martin. Greg has a signature slide through Rocky Mountain Slide, so they've been endorsing us for about the last 5 or 6 years, and I won't play anything else. I love this stuff.
What's your favorite guitar that you own?
That's a tough question. Zamitis just sent me a hollow body guitar. It's completely hollow. It's not a semi-hollow, and it's a single cutaway. And I'm in love with it. I sit and play it at the house all the time. Haven't really got to take it out on the road yet, but
is it acoustic, semi-acoustic?
No, it's electric. It's
electric. Okay.
Yeah, but it's
Nice.
They're really great company. And then of course I got some vintage guitars I love. I got a 68 ES 345 that I bought down in Muscle Shoals. I absolutely love.
Nice.
No, that was awesome, man. I definitely, I'm a believer now. I think we could probably do a couple more of these. I think Mark has, yeah.
All right.
We get the right people together.
Definitely have, like I said, having you back on, for another one too, especially as things roll out, because this has been, for me, I mean, we've still got time here, but I just wanted to just say how
many times have we talked sports, man?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
How many times have I been on the show and we talk sports?
Yeah.
This feels like the first time. That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's what I really like is I was telling the guys before the show is I don't care. I mean, this is episode,
7.
Yeah, something like that. And before every show I have, well, thank you. I have butterflies, everyone. Like I'm just almost sick to my stomach.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be, man.
Because the first thing in my head is like, even though I've done the intro so many times, what was it last couple episodes ago? I said the company was from Central Oregon, where I'm from. It's like the screw
you
up
see
is
me
coming.
too. I pushed the wrong button. I just started 57th episode. And I was like, oh wait, that was the wrong one.
And so for me, I always have that, and kind of where I'm going with this is, for you guys that I want to get there. It's like if this still happens for you guys when you get on stage, is because for me, I am so worried about. Because to me, right now, what's in the back of my head is I've got the pressure, like I don't want to let the guys down. This one is huge for Mark. Mark was really looking forward to this one. I don't want to let him down. Yeah. Boone was excited about coming on here, which to me, this was my Billy Gibbons moment. Boone Froggett, from Otis is saying, "Oh my God, I can't wait to be on the show." And I'm just like, God, this feels awesome. I mean, I can't screw this up. So the whole time I'm just like, just calm down. Just calm down. so
and again, thanks for having me on. I mean, you could have. There's a lot of people in the world, and you chose to let me have some time to come on here and talk to y'all. And it's been great. It's a really cool show. I can tell that you guys really care about what you do. Been watching some of the previous episodes, weeks leading up to this, and it's cool, man.
Well, I really appreciate that.
Just remember,
it's kind of
when Otis gets back together and starts doing shows and stuff. Central Florida, come take a show down here. We would love to see
by
you.
UCF. Come rock out.
Yeah, we'd love to see anybody right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anything to get out of the house.
Yeah.
So kind of, I'll pose that question real quick to you guys. Do you guys still get that feeling when you're about to go on stage? And like I said, I'll let both of you answer that one too. Is just what's that feeling like? Right, curtains getting, like I said, the curtain's getting ready to drop. It is time to go. I mean, how are we? What's going through the mind of Boone and Javier?
I can tell you that every single time I've been on stage, I have been frightened. Absolutely, completely, until the first strum goes off. After that, it's automatic. I mean, I was lucky enough that I had my best friend and drummer for 9 years, to my right side. So all I had to do was play the first note, look to my right, and I knew that everything was going to be fine. And after that, back in 2017, I was on stage since then twice for 30 seconds, and both times were, such a rush. And it's crazy because like right now, the closest thing that I can get to like doing something like that now is when I do like my videos, like when I do the gear reviews and stuff like that. And I've become such a perfectionist when it comes to it. I do like 15 takes of the guitar solo just so I can make sure that that my hand position is exactly the same, so that when people see it, they can say, okay, he is the one playing that. He's not faking it. And just, trying to figure out a different way to connect with people, because now I'm not on stage anymore. I am on this side of the screen and I don't see my audience. My audience is somewhere else, on a phone, on a computer, somewhere. And I have to think that I'm connecting with them. So it's it's weird, and it still feels like a rush. Like every time that I hit, upload to one of the videos or something like that, I would love to get back to playing live. Right now, it's not definitely not the right time.
No.
But right now, it's just not the right time. But eventually, I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen, and I know that it's going to be the same feeling. It never goes away, man. When you love something, it's supposed to give you butterflies.
Oh, good. Okay, all right. That's good. That's
You get the butterflies, rock out with it.
Yeah.
What about Boone? How about for you, man? How's that? They are just getting ready to go on stage with the guys.
Man, I really relate to what he said, man. And it's just, if it's something you love, it's going to make you feel that way every time. And it's always just take a second and clear my mind and have some gratitude. Be like, man, these people have came here. They're here to be moved. They're here to hear some music and forget about their problems in the world. So I have to not think about having a flat tire on the van that day, or think about I got to drive 600 miles after the show's over or whatever. Just you clear your mind, and that's your church, and you get up there and you give the people the best thing that you know how to give them. And definitely during all this, people are we call them family. The people that come out and see the shows, they check up on us. They really care. They buy the merch. They gave us money through PayPal, and it's just, man, it'll about bring you to tears, man. It's some great people out there in the world, and I'm very thankful that we can move those people with the power of music.
Well, I'd love to hear that too. Just they said what you just said. It's just because that's when Javier mentioned too. He's like, when you meet your heroes, it's like you want them to be, them to be what you imagine they are. And just you saying that right there this is what you want to hear from somebody that you're putting all your emotions into, following them stuff. To have you to say how much this means, like I said, this is what gets me through that 600 miles, is knowing I have this love. It's not that there's this ego, like, get this mileage down, I'm going to walk on stage, everybody's going to love me. No, you're toiling.
Even the most, like, and I hate using the term, but even the most like self-centered celebrity that you may find, when it comes to like being on stage and performing or something like that, being on stage is the best way to describe it. It's an open wound. It's a constant flow. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going. You're the one that stops it. As long as there's people out there and they're feeding off of you, you don't let it stop. And I'm telling you, it's a different feeling. Like I would love to have this same conversation with an athlete and see how it translates to the way they feel for the 4 quarters that they're on the field or something like that. Because it's, for 45 minutes, like, you're the king of the world when it comes to being in a band. It's just such an amazing feeling. And yeah, dude, like, that's what, like, going back to the question that Austin asked me earlier, is like, there's no reason to quit playing music. There really isn't. It's hard. It's difficult. No, the only reason why people quit is because it's really not what they want to do. It's that simple. You either want to do it or you don't want to do it.
Yeah. Now, if you're up to it, Boone, you want to play us out?
Sure, man. I'll come up with something.
Yeah, I from what you've done for the previous 2, I have no doubt in you at all.
Not at all. Not even
I
a
have
little
complete faith. Awesome.
Yay.
Nice. That's so, man, go to the otisband.com, support these guys right now. I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, I agree completely. If you guys
buy the coffee.
get the coffee. I mean, that's universal. You can send that, pretty much anywhere, get that shipped to you. Just go support these guys. And absolutely, if you get this, if you're going to be down this way, once this chaos all ends, let us know.
Oh, man,
I'd love to come see a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to go. I'd love to go support you guys and come see a show, because I've really enjoyed this one more than I've been actually thinking I was going to today. I mean, I knew I was looking forward to it, and this is really, for me, this has really been an eye opener. That once again, like I said, Mark was right. I'm not too proud to admit this thing.
You said that twice, right?
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah. Well, that was just it. It's just, so this whole time, it's just, I've got to get out of my own way here sometimes, because I'm just like, I just don't think so. I don't think so. And just here it is, that we could have done this sooner had I not been so stubborn.
Yeah.
So it's so it's one, Boone, I apologize, and Javier, I apologize for not having you on earlier. This is my fault.
I mean, I've been here before. It's just, this is the first time that we're talking,
music,
we're talking shop. We're not talking sports.
Yeah.
I don't get to say that FSU still sucks this year.
They suck. Leave it at that.
I'm gonna be PG-13, but a little side note. Mark first told us about Daniel Boone. Craig was like, "Do you know anything about music, Chris?" I says, "No, not really." This is my point exactly. I say, "Well, I think we could work it out. We can make it work." He's like, "Okay, I'm not convinced, but we'll see." And you came on and played rocked out tonight, played some amazing tracks.
Yeah, it was, that's the thing. I mean, I would even, I'm just trying to think, what about the possibility of, like, if we have you guys back on, would you be able to bring on, because I know there was it one of the guys in the band that was with you, wasn't he? That was there in the house on some of those videos.
Oh yeah, that's
Steve.
Steve, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, even if something like that, we bring you back on, and you guys could do, it's just, I mean, that would be cool. Do this again, with you guys on the same camera, and just have some. I'd be open to that, because this
turn it over to them.
This is a lot of fun. I mean, I love getting.
Let's just have Otis play, and you guys just sit there.
Yeah.
Just sit there and just
just
try to
drink some beer.
Exactly. I've been.
Bring your lighter.
Yeah, I don't have a lighter in here.
It's cell phones now, but mine's being used for the camera. So it's
exactly. I can't.
Everybody's gonna get a little seasick as the camera's waving back and forth.
We'll bring the lighter out here.
There you go.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, I apologize about Javier. I'm trying to remember the site for you there. jp2guitar.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
go
the single's called "Wasting Time." It comes out this Friday. It's going to be available on basically every single major digital platform, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, etc. It's going to be everywhere. I'm also going to upload a lyric video. COVID couldn't do the video because I wanted to do the video with April, but didn't work out. But yeah, dude, and I got a lot more stuff down the pipeline. It's just this single, like I said, I mean, Austin, you heard the other stuff that I've made. This one's different. This one is different.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that it's like, I have to get this out there because it's different. I have to get it out there.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited about it. And April is super excited about it. I mean, this goes back to, she recorded the vocals in March, right before this whole COVID thing happened. And, we've been sitting on it since because, life. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait. And Boone, I'm so glad to meet you. It was awesome. After this, I'm gonna go to iTunes. I'm gonna buy all your stuff because I love your voice.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. That's let's stay in touch, man. For sure.
Yes.
That's cool. That's what we're here for. that's what I know. That's what I said. This is the thing, is bringing people together. It's D93 WDNS. Go to that site too. You guys, they live stream right over the. So you go check that. Listen to them. That show. In the show that they've you just click on And I don't know. I'm trying to get a quick link, for the actual show that you're part of. But I was
Low Down, Hoedown.
Monday
nights.
Yeah, Monday night, 10 to 10. Very honored to help Greg produce that show. It's like I said, that gave me a great musical upbringing and education.
So, Boone, Mark, thank you again for persisting and forcing me, to see the light, and
3
I did.
times.
Wow. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I'm willing to do it. I will do it.
No one's wrong. It was a great 75 minutes. We just have to do this again.
Stepping outside the box is good.
Yeah.
So everybody, appreciate the families, giving us your time. You'll get back to what you're doing, but once again, Boone, I love to count you as a friend of the show now, sir, because this was fantastic. I
got one more thing. If you inbox Craig, your address will get you out some a beard oil sample and a sticker. Maybe you can throw it on a gift card case or something.
Hey, I'd love that, man.
Yeah. And then
I have to grow this thing again, man. I messed it up so bad. I had to. Did you see it? It was like down here. It was like, yeah. And then I tried trimming it. It was like,
yeah.
What did I call? What did I call that the first time? I think it was the beard starter kit.
The half beard. Yeah.
The beard starter kit.
It was just and it was probably a little bit longer than this, man. And then I had it for a year. It was like it touched right here. It's like, yeah, and I messed it up so bad, and I kept trying to fix it. It's like it's over. It's sinking ship. Sinking ship. Let's just start over. So here we are, a month and a half, I think.
There we go.
So yes, I will get that. So if you just want to just send that to me, and I'll get that. I'll have Kelly send you a sampler thing out there so you can try that and see what you think.
Right on
that beard oil. So everybody, really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
We will be in touch, and we are definitely, if everybody's up for it, I would love to do this again.
Yeah, for sure.
Do it
anytime.
All right. Sounds good. Well, gentlemen, have a great night. We will see you later on. Get ourselves prepped for round 2 and this tonight.
Yep.
So,
thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
This episode was brought to you by the aforementioned Brott's Beard Care. Premium beard oil made in Central Florida by Kelly Brott himself. He has an army of gnomes like Willy Wonka, and they sing songs to him and let him know what he has done wrong for the day, and and what he should have learned.
You're gonna get him in trouble.
So if by purchasing the 3B blend, you are also going to help him feed those gnomes, because they are they got to eat. I mean, otherwise you got I don't know, is it APCA for no? I don't know, but they're going to come over
in trouble, man.
Yeah, they're in a cage. You can't lock them in little boxes. They got to have places to eat and sleep, or else you get in trouble. So go to Kelly Brott, promote, just support him, please. It's like make up for this show that he has to deal with.
I mean, when you put it that way,
yeah. Nanny Cakes Nancy Burke. Go to Nanny Cakes 407 on Facebook, or give her a call at 407-923-2898. Central Florida area, you're going to save 15% off by just mentioning that you might have come in contact with these 3 beardos, and she'll give you a discount. Outside of the area, you're going to get amazing flavor of whatever arrives, and we will personally autograph the spork.
Mm-hmm.
So I can guarantee that. So we'll get that out to you. So once again, go to 3 Beards Podcast. We are on all the socials. Go check us out. Patreon.com/3 Beards Podcast. You can become one with the Beardos. We'll love you for it. I promise. Go once again, Boone Froggett and the band Otis. Check them out. Javier Perez, JP2. Go check out the new single dropping this Friday. We appreciate you guys. Love it. We will see you later. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you.
All right.